Welcome to Wired Hunt Weekly. I'm Mark Kenyon, and this week we're going to discuss the topic of whether or not you can actually kill deer like they do on TV. Alright, so today we're going to wade into a pretty sticky topic and one that a lot of people talk about today. And it's whether or not you and me can actually kill deer like we see on TV. The typical complaint I'm hearing right now is that when you watch deer hunting TV shows or DVDs, it's just not realistic. There's all these huge deer and there's this kind of hunting success that these guys are having just isn't actually attainable for the average guy. So most people, I see lots of articles talking about lower your expectations. You don't need to try to shoot for those giant deer. It's not attainable in your neck of the woods. I'm gonna have to disagree, and I would say that yes, you can kill bucks just like you see on TV. It may not be as easy as for some of those folks. We may not be able to do it as often, or in the same way as these guys. But I truly believe that every single one of us can kill deer like you see on TV, and none of us should lower our expectations. I mean, if you want to shoot smaller deer, if you want to target whatever deer makes you happy, I'm all for that. I mean, absolutely do that. But if you have dreams of chasing great big monster bucks, where you live or how much money you have or whatever it is, none of those things should limit you, because you can still kill big bucks no matter what your circumstances. So today I want to kind of walk through 4 of the typical things that folks say keep the average guy from being able to kill big deer, and I'll discuss why I disagree with each one of those and how the average Joe, just like you or me, can actually do it. Alright, so let's take a look at what I think those 4 limiting factors are that a lot of folks talk about. People say that you can't kill big bucks because you don't have enough money, because you don't have enough time, maybe because you're in the wrong location, or because you don't have a lot of land. And then on the flip side of that coin, lots of folks are saying that's why these guys on TV are killing big deer. They're only killing big deer because they have lots of money, or they're only killing big deer because they hunt in Kansas. And I'm just gonna have to disagree, at least with the first part, being that you or I can't kill bucks because we don't have money, or whatever it might be. Because again, I really feel like those 4 things are, they're relative. You need maybe some kind of money, but you don't need lots of money. So let's talk about money first. Sure, there's lots of gear out there that costs a lot of money. There's lots of equipment and tractors and camouflage and guns and bows and all that stuff that costs a lot of money. And the guys on TV have it, and it's really nice stuff. But do you need it to kill big bucks? No. It's helpful, sure. Is it great to have? Sure. But you know what? If you have a weapon that fires straight, you can go out there and hunt some deer. And if you work hard enough, and if you're creative, and if you're thrifty, you can certainly go out there and be successful. So other than equipment, money is definitely something that limits people in regards to the land they can hunt. And so again, people say, well, you need to own a bunch of land, you need to own big properties, and that's just not the case. Yes, it's easier if you have lots of land, it's easier if you own your own property, but by no means are you stuck with that. There are so many different ways that you can go about getting access to hunting property today. It's ridiculous. Again, it's not easy. You're going to need to work for it. You're going to need to be creative. You're going to need to knock on a lot of doors or scout a lot of public land and deal with some bumps in the road. But if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to give it a shot, if you're willing to work hard, you can by all means, absolutely 100%, find big bucks on that accessible property. There is a tremendous amount of public land in some of these states. Even in my home state of Michigan, there's plenty of public land hunting opportunities. So even if I had no land that I owned, if I had no land I even had permission to hunt on, if you are willing to work, you can find that public ground where there are big bucks. You just have to hunt it differently. And it's not going to be necessarily as easy for us guys, but it's definitely still attainable. So kind of staying in the theme of location, right? Land is important, but there's ways for the average Joe to get property access. At the same time, also there's the complaint that there just aren't big bucks in my area or my state. So that's a common complaint here in Michigan, that there just aren't deer here, or it's not as easy to hunt deer here as it is in Iowa or Kansas, or whatever it might be. And again, there is some truth to that, But there's no reason why you're stuck hunting in any one location. I live in Michigan, but I make it a point and a priority to travel to other locations so that I can have a better chance of seeing some of these deer. And you can do the same thing. Now, I understand time is difficult to come by. Money to do those trips is difficult to come by. Out-of-state tags cost more money. And again, yes, there are sacrifices you need to make, but it just depends on how much of a priority it is. How badly do you want to hunt bigger deer? If you really want to go to Iowa or Kansas or Illinois or whatever it might be, you can do it. You can find the money. I know that, sure, money might be tight, but if you're willing to sacrifice a few trips to Burger King, or maybe you don't need that nice new truck payment, or truck with a bigger payment. So it's really about choices. If it's important enough for you to be hunting those big bucks, every one of us can make the tough choice to sacrifice one thing in order to have the funds or the time or the resources to make a trip to one of these states. It's absolutely doable. And then again, when it comes to getting land in these other states, again, knock on folks' doors. I mean, it's, maybe a bit nerve-wracking, it's a pain in the butt, it's hard work, but knocking on doors or scouting public land in these states, these big buck states, is a surefire way of getting on hunting property to get out there and hunt on. You can by all means find public land in Iowa that is not getting pressured nearly as much as maybe the land that you hunt in Pennsylvania or New York or Georgia. It's just a matter of getting out there and putting in the blood, sweat, and tears. And I think that's kind of the theme of everything that I'm going to kind of say here, is that no matter what, while it may be more difficult, you can do what it takes to kill big bucks. And then last, I think, is time. Right? We complain that we have limited vacation days, or we have to be home, working on the house, or we just don't have enough time to hunt big bucks. And sure, that's a challenge. I 100% agree. And 99% of us out there have day jobs, and we have families and responsibilities and things that we need to be doing. But again, it's just a matter of where do you rank deer hunting and hunting big bucks in your set of priorities. Now, I definitely don't advocate anyone putting deer hunting above their family or those very important responsibilities. But if you talk a big game about wanting to shoot big bucks, but then you spend your Saturdays and Sundays in September and October watching football, well, then maybe you are kind of wasting some opportunities to go after some of those bigger deer. So again, it's about making choices. How important is it to you? And if it is that important, then use that time to go chase those big deer. You can make it happen. And again, you can also have success on big bucks in limited time. It's just a matter of putting in the hard work leading up to it, doing the scouting, going out and doing the preparation, playing things smart. If you do that, if you put in the time and all the energy to put yourself in a good position, you can have success, in a week out of state or in a couple weekends here or there. Again, it just is about how you go about it. If you have the right attitude and if you're willing to put in the time, you can make it happen. So, again, in short, I disagree with folks that say that the average guy can't kill a deer like they see on TV. I really think it's possible. It's not going to be as easy. You may not be able to do it as often, and you may not be able to do it in the same ways as other guys, but by God, it is possible. You need to sacrifice, you need to work hard, you need to practice and prepare and sacrifice. I might have said that twice, but it's important. So if you're willing to give it your all, any one of us, you, me, we can all kill bucks like you see on TV. So I hope that's helpful. I hope maybe that's a good nudge for all of us to remember that we don't need to set our expectations any different than anyone. If we want to kill a big deer, if we want to chase mature bucks, it's on us. We can do it. No one can tell us otherwise, and no circumstance or limitation can hold us down. So hope you can get out there, and if you're the kind of guy or girl that wants to be chasing big deer, I'd say put in the hard work and make it happen. So thanks again for joining us on Wired Hunt Weekly. Be sure to check in next week. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Wired Hunt YouTube channel so you can stay updated on all of our future videos. And we're looking forward to chatting with you next time. Thanks, and stay wired to hunt.